Shalom. First off, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. And I want to give double honors unto the elders of Israel, which are the elders of Great Millstone. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim doing the works in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'm just pretty much here with another lesson today, just to prove, that the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, our power, the power of Israel, is the only living power, because these heathens out here, they serve these idols, they serve these statues, and you got 2/3 of our people that are worshiping this Jesus Christ, You got our people into Islam, and just all these other philosophies and these other religions that are really that are vain, that are vain, as the scriptures say. So I'm gonna start off with uh let me start off with Psalms. Psalms chapter 65 and 5. Salakia, one moment, I don't think this is it. Psalms 115, I believe. Psalm 15, 1 through 9. Not unto us, O Lord Yahweh, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their power? But our power is in the heavens, he hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of man's hands. So that is talking about these heathens, Everything they serve, all these gods that these heathens serve, Hindu, Buddhism, Allah, the damn Saint Mary statue, down in Brazil, whatever it is, Jesus, You got 2/3 of our people rocking the wearing the Jesus chain and whatnot, All of that, it's all vain, They're all idols once again, They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. They that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. So it's talking about these heathens mainly, and 2/3 of our people. These heathens are dead, just like these idols that they make. You know, you got these Buddhists, worshiping a damn a Buddhist statue just sitting there. Once again, like the scriptures say, they design it and they fashion it like a man, but it's dead. Yes, it has eyes. Yes, it. You know what I mean. They design it like onto a pretty much they design it like onto a man, but it's like it's not living. It's a dead statue. So they're likened onto the statue and what they serve. You know. O Israel, trust in the Lord Yahweh. He is their help and their shield. So we got to trust in the Lord Yahweh with all our heart, and we got to continue to serve the Lord by coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments once again, because that's the only way we can serve the Lord. And the Lord is the only true living power, as it says in Jeremiah. Let me get that, matter of fact. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 10, I believe. This is Jeremiah chapter 10 and 10. But the Lord, Yahweh, but the Lord is the true power. He is the living God and an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. So pretty much this is plain. The Lord is the only true living power, because the Lord created everything. As a matter of fact, I believe as we read down. But yeah, the Lord is the one who created everything. The Lord created the heavens. The Lord created the earth. The scripture say the Lord said, the earth is my footstool, So we can't serve the Lord once again also by going into these churches and these temple houses made with man's hands, because the Lord said, what house will you build for me? I created the heavens and the earth, So it's best that we come back once again, to the law, statutes, and commandments, continue to follow the laws, doing the work of the Lord, which is keeping the the law, statutes, and commandments, as it says in Ecclesiastes. Matter of fact, let me just get that real fast. Because that's the whole, once again, that's the whole purpose for us as Israelites, because that's the only reason, one, we're the only people that the Lord's dealing with, and we have no business worshiping these other gods, and we got 2/3 of our people doing that, But let me get this scripture. Salakia. Con. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us share the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So the whole duty of man is to keep keep the Most High's commandments, pretty much, which was only given to us, the Israelites, to do. So really 2/3 of our people are dead because they're really ultimately the Most High gave them up to those things, and the Most High doesn't care for them right now. I mean, the scriptures say ultimately all Israel shall be saved, but right now the Lord's only dealing with a small remnant of Israel, So, but I pretty much just wanted to grab those scriptures to prove that point. But from there I'm gonna go to Judges to get some accounts on that, Judges 6:25. So basically, a quick background on what's going on here. Pretty much, this was in the time of Judges, when Israel kept going off, and the Lord would always put them into captivity under these heathens, So right now, this is the Lord speaking to the man named Gideon, which was a judge that he rose up to deliver Israel out of the Midianite captivity. So this is the Lord speaking to Gideon, putting the Spirit upon him to go and to deliver the Israelites. So I'll start at 25. And it came to pass the same night, and this was, I'll just read 24. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord Yahweh and called it Jehovah Shalom. Unto this day is it yet in Oprah of the Abiezrites. So pretty much after the Lord spoke to Gideon, he built an altar because the Lord told him to do so. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that thy father hath, and cut down the grove that is by it, and build an altar unto the Lord Yahweh thy power upon the top of this rock, and in the ordered place, and take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the grove which thou shalt cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants, and did as the Lord Yahweh had said unto him, and so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, that he did it by night. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down that was by it, and the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. And they said one to another, Who hath done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon the son of Joash hath done this thing. Then the men of the city said unto Joash, Bring out thy son, that he may die, because he hath cast down the altar of Baal, and because he hath cut down the grove that was by it. So pretty much these people got mad at Gideon because he cut down the altar of Baal. Our people were going off at that time worshiping Baal and these other gods and whatnot. And Joash said unto all that stood against him, Will ye plead for Baal? Will ye save him? He that will plead for him, let him be put to death while it is yet morning. If he be a god, let him plead for himself, because one hath cast down his altar. So pretty much, this was like a mockery, This was a mockery being done to the god of Baal, because pretty much it's a fake god, and the Lord put the Spirit upon Gideon, and this is Gideon's father saying, onto them that came to plead for Baal. Like, it's like, look, if he's a real God, then let him do something about it. Then, if he's a real God, you know. Therefore, on that day, he called him Jerubbaal, and it's talking about Gideon. That's what his name was changed to, saying, "Let Baal plead against him, because he had thrown down his altar." You know. So I pretty much just wanted to grab this point because, I mean, like the scriptures say, you know, the gods of these heathen are vain. You know, I mean, really, they're not living, they're dead. You know, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is the only living power. You know, so pretty much they just made mockery of him. And what do the scriptures say? Let me get that in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Galatians 6 and 1. Salakia 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So this is talking about the Most High, you know, aka the power of Israel, is not mocked, you know. So pretty much right then and there, if Baal was a real God, why didn't he do something about it? You know, that's why pretty much he was made mockery of, you know. So I just want to grab that account also, you know, to get on that. But from there I'm gonna go to 1 Samuel 5. I mean, this chapter this is what inspired the lesson, but this whole chapter is bad. But I'll probably just read half of it to just get the point. But so I'll give one moment. Yeah, come. So I'll just start at 1. This is when the Philistines came against us, you know, to fight against us when Samuel became the priest, you know. And the Philistines took the ark of the Most High and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of the Most High, they brought it into the house of Dagon, and Dagon pretty much is Dagon was the deity of these Philistines. It was like a fish god or something like that. You know, it's like pretty much just a vain old god that they worship. You know, so-called god, and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord Yahweh. So that's the spirit. Like, they touched the ark of the Lord, and what did the Lord do? Once again, like the scriptures say, the Lord is not mocked. And Jeremiah says the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, is the true living power. But I'll read on. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord Yahweh. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. You know. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord Yahweh. And the head of Dagon was both, and the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. So this deity, this fake old handmade deity was sitting next to the ark of the Lord, and the Lord sent the angel to break that statue down, pretty much, you know. Therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any that came into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon into Ashdod unto this day. But the hand of the Lord Yahweh was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. See? So pretty much, you know, the Lord's hand, the Lord judged them himself, because they smit Israel and stole the Ark of the Covenant, you know. But what did the Lord Yahweh do when they touched something that was precious, you know? He destroyed them himself, you know. So showing you the Lord, our power is the only living God, you know. So I'm gonna get one more precept in the Apocrypha. Wisdom of Solomon 13, starting at 16. And this is this is talking about these heathens, For it's talking about these heathens and the gods and these false things that they worship and what they do with it. Pretty much I'm just grabbing this pretty much to show how vain it is and how vain these heathens are and how they're dead just like unto the gods that they worship. This is Wisdom of Solomon 13, starting at 16. For he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself. These fake old statues, man-made, that they worship, Buddha statue, Jesus statue, whatever it is, For it is an image and hath need of help. Then maketh he prayer. For his for his goods, for his wife and children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which hath no life. For health he calleth upon that which is weak. For life prayeth to that which is dead. For aid humbly beseecheth that which hath last means to help. And for a good journey he asketh of that which cannot set a foot forward. So it just really shows how dumb and like retarded these heathens are, you know what I mean? Like you look at these heathens, like these Moabites, you got Moabites just bound down to a big belly old statue that's man-made that really can't do nothing. It's just simply vain, just sitting there, man-made. And they're deceived thinking that it's really going to do something for him. These heathens will be sick or something like that, and they go bow down, bow their head to a Buddha statue and whatnot. Pretty much it's just vain. And for gaining and getting, and for good success of his hands, asketh ability to do of him that is most unable to do anything. So these heathens are vain, and everything that they do, and that's why the scriptures tell us in Jeremiah. So let me try to find that real quick. That's why it tells us in Jeremiah, to be not to be like these heathens, because these heathens are vain in everything they do. We have a true power to worship, which is Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua, Let me get that real fast. On Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10 and 2. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, starting at 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. So basically, I just want pretty much scriptures tell us not to be like these heathens, because everything these heathens do, once again, are vain. So, pretty much that was it. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.